Good to see you all, my lovely people. This is video number 2 of the Oregon extravaganza, book extravaganza, if you will. I hauled too many books, maybe 5 or 6 videos worth, and need to start recording stuff. But I'm on the road, and I can't find a spot with service to film. So that means the video is going to be kind of short, because I can't give you summaries. The category of this one is going to be sci-fi, plus a couple Hesse books to round out my Hesse collection. So pretty happy with that. Without any more blathering, let's get on with it. So the Hesse books we'll start off with. Here we've got Demian, okay? And I'm not going to give you summaries, so I'm just basically going to be showing them to you. Master Ludi, also the Glass Bead Game. This is his last and greatest novel. Another author that I've just kind of recently been getting into, I say getting into, I haven't read anything by him, but I've kind of been made aware of his presence, is that of Thomas Mann, okay? He wrote, oh shoot, something about a mountain? Not the Magnificent Mountain, not the Magic Mountain, there we go. And Death in Venice, okay, he wrote a few famous ones. So I've been kind of looking out for him at a few different stores, and he actually wrote the intro to this book. Sorry, is it the different one? Maybe he wrote the intro to this one. Anyways, yes, he wrote the intro to Demian. But yes, Glass Bead Game, this is his most recent or last work, and also the one that won him the Nobel Prize actually in literature. So looking forward to reading that one. It is quite a bit thicker though than the others. Then we have The Journey to the East. This one's quite thin, and I think maybe one of his earlier works, to be honest. Although maybe not, because, yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. Kind of strange, though. This one's double-spaced. How often do you see a book that's double-spaced? I don't know. That's kind of weird. And then also, kind of a good find is his autobiographical writings. So kind of a cool cover art on that one. And, yeah, it kind of helps provide some context to all of his other works. Because I think a lot of the themes in all of his books are, like, pretty similar. So an autobiography would be pretty enlightening. Okay, that's all the Hesse. On to the sci-fi. Okay, first up, we've got a book here by Ursula Le Guin. Sorry, not a book. A compilation of short stories, The Unreal and the Real, volume number 2. Now, I'm not sure which company put this on. It's Orion Books. They compiled all of her short stories into several volumes. Now, this is, I would like to have number 1. This is number 2. But I am happy because number 2, the very first story in here, is The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. Now, if I recall correctly, in Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov, there's like a thought experiment. I forget who poses it, but the idea is like, what if, it's kind of like a utilitarian, what do you call it, like thought experiment to kind of like disprove utilitarianism. And the idea is that like, what if an entire city could have like perfect happiness because all of the torment and pain and evil gets put onto a single person who's like locked away somewhere, and that it kind of is like all transferred to that one person. Is that like a morally okay scenario? And like a utilitarian would say like, yes, it is, because then the net happiness for all of everyone else is so high compared to the one person who has to suffer. Of course, that's not moral. We know that, hopefully. So it kind of is like a mind bender there. But apparently when Ursula Le Guin read Brothers Karamazov, she wrote this short story in response to that thought experiment. So I have been looking for something that contains that short story. So I was happy to find this. That's the long story there. Next up, just some H.G. Wells, you know, some classic. The Food of the Gods, okay? Nice little old paperback here. Bit of peeling on the back, but oh well. And the premise of this one's super funny, actually. These two scientists developed like the super serum food that like makes anything that eats it like gigantic, and they start feeding it to random stuff, and everything's like way too big. So that's very funny. I'm looking forward to reading that. Next up, we've got Ray Bradbury, The Illustrated Man. Okay, this is a very famous book. Unfortunately, a lot of like these sci-fi paperbacks, they don't actually give a summary of the book. They just give like a 2-sentence like teaser, but it doesn't actually encapsulate the plot at all. So that's kind of annoying. But anyways, yeah, good to add this to the collection. Can't really tell you too much about it at this point. Now the rest of these are all Heinlein, which is cool. I like Heinlein. I think I've only read one of his books, though, to be honest. What is that? Starship Troopers. That's all I've read. But a couple big ones in the stack today, especially the last one. So first up, we've got Waldo and Magic Incorporated. I'm just going to blast through these. I'm not going to summarize them. Waldo and Magic Incorporated. We've got Have Spacesuit, Will Travel. I don't know if you can see that. Is that good enough? The Door into Summer. Okay. I think for this one, he gets cryogenically frozen by one of his enemies, like unconsensually cryogenically frozen, then wakes up in the year 2000, which is, for us, it's in the past. I guess for Heinlein, it's in the future. Yeah, it's kind of his reaction to like all the new stuff that's been designed and built by the year 2000. Next up, we've got To Sail Beyond the Sunset. Apparently it's about a cat. I'm not really too sure. Kind of a racy cover. Maybe I shouldn't have shown that. Sorry. And then we've also got Farnham's Freehold. Okay, this is like a post-apocalyptic, like nuclear war style book. And then lastly, in hardcover, unfortunately, I wish it was in softcover, but one of his more famous works. So he wrote Starship Troopers. He also wrote, brain fart. Dang, now it's gonna bug me. There's one other really famous book besides the one I'm holding right now. And I'm gonna remember it as soon as I turn off the video. Dang. Anyways, this one, sorry to keep you on edge there. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, okay? And this one it's described as a libertarian manifesto, and apparently the moon has been turned into like a penal colony, and then there's like a rebellion and uprising, and the people on the moon kind of go back to try to rebel against and take over the Earth. So, pretty interesting conclusion there. Kind of, yeah, one of his more well-known books, along with Starship Troopers, and the one more that I can't think of, which is driving me crazy. Sometimes books at the end have like other books by the same author, and it will list some. In this one, unfortunately, it does not. It just goes right to the last page of the book. So I'm going to have to just go crazy until I can look it up later. Maybe I'll put it in the description. How about that? I'll put it in the YouTube description. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. I've got probably enough stacks to record like, 4 more videos. So stay tuned. See you next time.